Hey, what's up guys, this is in the video, and today I'm going to be comparing these two phones, the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G to the Galaxy A53 5G right here, in a speed test and a full comparison. Yeah, so for the specifications of the devices here, the S10 5G has the Exynos 9820 with 8GB of RAM, and the A53 5G has the Exynos Strobe 80 also with 8GB of RAM. Right, so that's for the specifications. So let's check the problem apps in the background and start off with the test. Right, so the first application I'll be opening is phone, which I think was slightly faster on the A53. Contacts, I think that's for the S10 5G. Settings, very much a tie. Camera, I think the S10 5G was faster on that. Instagram, see, okay, I think that's also very close to the tie. Chrome, in the S10 5G was faster. Play Store, S10 5G again. GG, I think that's a tie. YouTube, I think that's a tie as well. Spotify, okay, that's the A53 5G, was faster. Master, okay, that was faster on the S10 5G. Temporan, okay, so the S10 5G was faster. Master, and finally eFootball 2022. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, so the S10 5G is faster, as you guys can see, when it comes to eFootball, and also when it comes to actual performance, like for long periods of time, like you're gaming for longer, sustained performance, the S10 5G is going to be better, right? So let me start off with the full comparison. I'm going to start off that with the displays right here. So you have a 6.7-inch display on the Galaxy S10 5G versus 6.5-inch on the Galaxy A53 5G right here. And for the technologies, obviously you have QHD here versus 120Hz. I think that's the major difference between these displays, other than size, right? So the S10 5G here didn't come with 120Hz, which is at this point in time very many people have gotten used to, and would be a deal breaker for some, yeah, but not me in particular anyway. But yeah, it's a very nice thing to have on the A53 5G. The display refreshes at 120Hz. And yeah, that's a big difference between these two displays. And also the S10, whatever the A53 5G is brighter. I tested that out in outdoors, and A53 was brighter, at least to my eyes. Yeah, I say it as I see it. So the A53 5G was brighter. But yeah, whatever the S10 5G here has its advantages. There's a QHD display, which is very rare, even among its flagships lately, other than the top end flagships. Yeah, you don't find the QHD display anymore. So maybe the decision to be made when it comes to the displays is about size, where the S10 5G is really big, much bigger and wider, which for me is an advantage. Yeah, I like big phones, and also as a QHD display. When it comes to the A53 5G, it has 120Hz and is also brighter. So yeah, but it's at 1080p versus QHD and the S10 5G. So for the displays, it depends on what you value most. If you like the refresh rate, go for the A53 5G, or if you're interested in more pixel density, you can go for the S10 5G right here with the QHD display. And also the other thing that you have to look into is the size. The size makes a big difference, especially for content consumption. Yeah, so that's for the displays. The other thing I want to be talking about is the cameras, which I believe is also very important. Right guys, so moving on to the cameras. So when it comes to the cameras, start off with the selfie camera. So for the selfie camera, I think the a53 has caught up and has actually surpassed the s10 5G. I remember owning the Galaxy S10, the regular one, and I was never impressed by its front-facing camera. And yeah, it hasn't gotten any better than here. Maybe the only points I'll give it is when it comes to video recording in very nice lighting conditions, it might age out the a53 5G because it has a time of flight sensor here, and you can even do portrait video, something the a53 can do. Yeah, so for the video features, yeah, I'll say that the a53, not the s10 5G, is better in that sense. When it comes to photos on the front-facing cameras, yeah, a53 is a better choice to make. Yeah, and then when it comes to the back cameras, so the main cameras are this has 64MP versus 12MP on the s10 5G, and I'll say that for photos, I think I'll prefer the photos on the a53 5G most of the time. You know, they're sharper, given that has more resolution. I can tell the difference in whatever sharpness right here, especially in darker situations. Yeah, but when it comes to the video quality on the back cameras, I think I'll definitely prefer the s10 5G right here. You can even do you can use the ultra wide camera in the pro video setting. Yeah, pro video mode, you can use the ultra wide camera, something you can't do with the a53 5G. And the s10 5G here has a much better quality in the ultra wide camera on the back versus the one that you have on the on the a53 5G. Yeah, this has a 16MP ultra wide versus the 12MP ultra wide you have on the a53 5G. So yeah, when it comes to the cameras, I'll just say that the s10 5G has a better video quality most of the time. So yeah, if you're a person who records a lot of videos, you're better off getting the s10 5G. But for photos, I think the a53 for the most part has caught up and even surpassed s10 5G in certain situations, more so with the front-facing camera. So that's for the cameras, guys. So when it comes to performance, so that for performance, the s10 5G is a better phone when it comes to performance. For example, here in KineMaster, you can edit more video layers and at a higher resolution, as you guys are going to see. You can do 4K editing here. Here you can only do it to a maximum of QHD, and you can also have more layers. So yeah, that's just to show you guys how much better the performance is. And even in sustained gaming, as I said earlier on, you get better performance from the s10 5G. It's a more stable phone. Mostly if you get the A55 Snapdragon version, it would even be better by a long shot, when it comes to performance. Yeah, so that's for the performance. And for the RAM management, I think the s10 5G is a bit more stable. They have the same amount of RAM. I notice it keeps apps in the background for longer than the a53 5G here. Yeah, so that's for the performance. And when it comes to the speakers, so the speakers I think are better on the a53 5G, and I'm going to be doing a full comparison, dedicated comparison for the speakers between these two phones. But I think, in my opinion, the speakers on the a53 5G are better. Yeah, the speakers on these phones are the A series of this year. The S33, A53, and the S73, the speakers are really good. They're flagship good. Yeah, Samsung really improved their speakers on the mid-range devices. Yeah, they are that good. These phones used to have the best speakers back in the day. So I'll say that the A53 has edged it out, and I'm going to be doing a dedicated comparison for the speakers. Yeah, and then when it comes to the battery life, so for the battery, I think I'll just say each of them is good. Yeah, I haven't really noticed much of a difference. The fact that this has 120 Hz and can give me through the day is also impressive. So I think if you were to turn off 120 Hz on the Galaxy A53 5G, you get more. Yeah, you get more usage out of it as compared to the s10 5G. But it's also not a bad phone for battery. Yeah, this has 4500 mAh versus 5000 mAh here. But what eats into the battery here is more so whatever the 120 Hz most of the time. Yeah, this has QHD, but QHD doesn't really make much of a difference like 120 Hz. It doesn't eat up as much battery as the high refresh rate of the display. So yeah, when it comes to the battery life, I'll say both of them are really nice. There's not much of a difference, except for maybe when you turn off 120 Hz on the a53 5G right here, you'll have a much better battery life than what you get on the a53 and what on the s10 5G here. Right, so that's for the battery. And for the charging speeds, they also charge at the same rate, 25 watts maximum on each. So yeah, but obviously the s10 5G might just charge a little bit faster because it has a smaller capacity battery when they're charging at the same rate. Yeah, so I think that's about that for the comparison right here. The software, for now, they both have the same Android version, but I believe the a53 will soon get One UI 5 based on Android 13, something that the s10 5G is not going to get. So yeah, you should have that in mind when you're purchasing any of these two right here. The a53 is going to have more support for longer versus the s10 5G, which is coming to its end of life. Yeah, it's now in its security patch stages, while this is still getting very many major updates to come. Still getting very many big updates versus the s10 5G. So yeah, that's something else you should take into consideration when you're purchasing any of these two right here. And obviously the price, I believe you can get the s10 5G for less. At least that's what I did. I got the s10 5G for less money. Yeah, so yeah, that's generally it for the comparison, guys. And if you like what you see in the video, give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.